It happened so fast Captain Diana Vance could barely process it. One moment, she admired a sapphire pendant inside a high-end boutique, planning a gift for her sister. The next, she was branded a thief. Voices sharpened, accusations multiplied, and then the brutal impact. Officer Jeremy Thorne slammed her against a marble column. Cold stone cut in her back as steel cuffs clamped down. The boutique, Azure Gems, fell silent. The stunned shoppers in the Grand Vista Mall. She looked like another black woman humiliated under glaring lights. To Thorne, she was a tally mark on his duty belt. What no one knew, not the arrogant officer, not the manager who triggered it, not even the hesitant security guards, was that they had just assaulted Captain Diana Vance, a 19-year veteran of Metro City's major crimes unit. The weight of that mistake would be catastrophic. Hours earlier, sunlight streamed through the glass ceiling, scattering across polished floors. Families drifted through the luxury corridors, unaware that Diana's simple errand was about to twist into spectacle. She walked calmly in a raspberry-colored blouse and denim shorts, her posture steady, professional. She wasn't there to investigate. She was there to buy joy, a graduation present for her sister, Sarah. But across the food court balcony, two mall security guards watched her closely. Leo Hayes, heavy-set and seasoned in cynicism, spoke into his radio. Female subject, black, dark coat, large purse. Keeping eyes on. His younger partner, Mark Ellis, hesitated, his discomfort playing. Together they trailed her. Diana didn't need to glance back. Years on the force had sharpened instincts too deeply ingrained to ignore. She knew she was being watched. She also knew why. The bitterness of profiling was familiar, though never less sharp. She forced her breath steady. She would not let them ruin today. At Azure Gems, glass cases glittered with fine jewelry. The boutique air smelled faintly of cedar, a soft guitar melody humming in the background. Behind the counter stood Eleanor Frost, the manager, her smile thin, her eyes instantly suspicious. "May I help you?" she asked, more challenged than welcome. "Just browsing," Diana answered evenly. She approached the pendant display, ignoring Eleanor's hawk-like stare. Outside, Leo and Mark loitered, their reflections flickering in the glass. "Every piece is locked, of course," Eleanor announced, voice loud. "I'm aware," Diana replied smoothly. "If I wish to see something, I'll ask." Still, suspicion radiated. Diana's attention lingered on the sapphire pendant, a deep blue gem encircled with tiny diamonds. Sarah had once mentioned wanting something timeless. Diana could already picture her sister's joy. She requested the pendant. Eleanor hesitated but finally unlocked the case, her fingers trembling. It wasn't fear of theft. It was fear of Diana. "This is exquisite," Diana murmured, reaching for her wallet. But then came the blade of accusation. "Before we proceed, I'll need to inspect your bag," Eleanor declared, her voice slicing through the boutique. Diana blinked. "Excuse me." Her tone was low, dangerously calm. "A bracelet has gone missing," Eleanor announced, projecting her words toward the entrance where Leo and Mark stood. "I saw you slip something into your purse." The room froze. Even the music seemed to falter. Leo stepped forward. "Ma'am, cooperate. Empty the bag." His hand brushed his radio. "That is a lie," Diana said, standing tall. "I touched nothing but the pendant." "Last chance," Leo pressed. "Open the bag, or this becomes a criminal matter." Mark shifted nervously, but stayed silent. Fury burned through Diana's veins, but her voice stayed measured. "No, you will not search my belongings without cause. This is profiling. It ends here." Leo's jaw tightened. Into his radio, he barked, "Code 10 at Azure Gems." Subject refusing compliance. Requesting immediate backup. Outside, shoppers slowed. Phones rose. Whispers spread. A private humiliation was mutating into public theater. Diana's eyes locked on Leo's. "You are making a career-ending mistake," she warned. Then came the echo of boots against marble. The boutique doors burst open. Officer Jeremy Thorne strode in, badge flashing under harsh lights. His swagger wasn't civic duty, it was performance. The crowd outside surged forward, cameras raised high. Thorne's eyes swept the boutique, landing on Diana with predatory satisfaction. "What's the problem here?" His voice boomed, calculated for the audience. "She's refusing to cooperate," Leo said quickly, seizing the moment. "We witnessed suspicious behavior. Manager confirms theft." Eleanor nodded, pale but resolute. Mark stayed frozen, lips pressed thin. Diana's pulse thundered, but her composure held. "I am Captain Diana Vance, Metro City Police Major Crimes Unit," she declared. Her voice cut like steel, steady, commanding, but Thorne only smirked. "Sure you are. Funny how they all say that when they're caught." He closed the distance in 2 strides, his presence suffocating. "Officer," Diana said firmly, "this accusation is false. I have done nothing. And if you—" Thorne didn't let her finish. He shoved her against the marble column. Gasps erupted. Cameras zoomed closer. The click of handcuffs echoed like gunshots across the boutique. "Hand where I can see them," Thorne barked. Diana's wrists burned beneath the metal. She looked past Thorne, past Eleanor, past Leo, to the sea of onlookers capturing every frame. She understood then. This wasn't just an arrest. It was a spectacle. And somewhere in the pit of her gut, she knew the real fallout hadn't even begun. Captain Diana Vance had come to Azure Gems in the Grand Vista Mall to buy her sister a graduation gift. Instead, she found herself branded a thief. The manager, Eleanor Frost, accused her of slipping a bracelet into her purse, while 2 security guards loomed at the door. Shoppers froze, phones rose, and suspicion filled the air. Diana remained calm. "Check the cameras. I've touched nothing but the pendant." But Leo Hayes, the senior guard, barked into his radio, "Code 10. Subject refusing compliance." Within minutes, Officer Jeremy Thorne stormed in, his hand on his weapon, eager for spectacle. Ignoring Diana's composure, he slammed her against the boutique wall and snapped cuffs around her wrists. "You have the right to remain silent," Thorne sneered, parading her toward the mall corridor as the crowd gasped and recorded. Diana lifted her chin. "Before you take another step, you should know I am Captain Diana Vance of the Metro City Police Major Crimes Unit. My badge is in my jacket pocket. You are arresting a police captain." The corridor erupted with disbelief. Thorne scoffed, calling it a lie, until the heavy footsteps of Sergeant Richard McIntyre cut through the chaos. His towering presence silenced the crowd. "Officer Thorne," he thundered, "care to explain why you've restrained your superior in public?" Thorne faltered, stammering that she'd fabricated the claim. Mac's reply was razor-sharp. "That woman is Captain Diana Vance, your commanding officer's commanding officer, and that badge in her pocket is real. You might have noticed if you'd checked before humiliating her in front of half the city." The crowd erupted in outrage. Chants of "check the badge" and "fire him" filled them all. Trembling, Thorne unlocked the cuffs, leaving angry red marks on Diana's wrists. Her voice cut through the uproar. "You just broadcast proof of profiling, intimidation, and abuse of power, everything I've spent my life fighting against." The fallout was immediate. Phones captured every angle. Eleanor was exposed for her false report, and the guard were jeered for their complicity. Within hours, Thorne was suspended, the guards terminated, and the manager fired. Mall executives scrambled to contain the scandal as public fury mounted. What was meant to humiliate Diana instead unmasked a system rotten with prejudice. Standing tall, her dignity intact, Captain Diana Vance walked free, not broken, but vindicated and stronger than ever.